So Control Flames is not a great cantrip. I would rate it average at best, probably poor in my rating system if we're being honest. But that said, there aren't that many great cantrips. I think there's only two really great ones, Minor Illusion and Guidance. Maybe Eldritch Blast if you want to consider the fact that Warlocks can stack a bunch of invocations on top of it. But other than those, they're relatively unimpressive. You get some good utility ones like Mending and Message, and you get some good attack ones, and Mind Sliver is always good for that debuff rider, but that's not very many. It's a small handful. And some of these builds that I've been doing get a lot of cantrips, and I've used it, and I actually wanted to use it on my latest build, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, these guys don't even get it. Lame. So clearly it's not useless. And it gets 4 powers. First of all, it's a somatic component only, so I always do like to shout out to abilities that don't have a verbal component or material component. Lacking the verbal component is always nice. But it gives you 4 abilities, 2 of them totally suck. One is you can set fire to things, extend fire, and you could totally do that with a torch. And then you can make vague shapes, humanoid shapes and stuff, which seems entirely useless to me. Although you can create vague shapes of locations, and if I really stretch my imagination, I can come up with a scenario or two where that might be kind of cool, kind of like a magical tinkering PowerPoint sort of thing. But the other 2 abilities are pretty good. One is that you can extend the range of bright and dim light, so if you target a bullseye lantern, that thing throws out a wicked beam of 120 foot bright and 120 foot dim, so that can be a real advantage in a dark scenario. And that change is 1 hour in duration and no concentration, so that's pretty good. And a sneaky good benefit to this is that you can actually extinguish fires. 5 foot cube every 6 seconds, you can probably get pretty much, any fire under control unless it's like a Raging Inferno or something. And that is not the easiest thing to do. In 5th edition, I mean, you can set fires pretty easy with Firebolt and Fireball and all of that, but extinguishing fires isn't that easy. I remember in my Bill Broughton Battlestone campaign once when one of my kooky colleagues decided to launch a fireball in the tavern, like in the inn, and set fire to the whole damn place. And luckily I had a sleet storm available, which was able to extinguish the fire and save the building. But if I didn't have that available, what else was I going to do? Not much, Control Flames could have come in handy. I could have just gone through the whole place and, over a minute or two, just extinguished everything. So, Control Flames, it's not horrible. I would add it to some builds, and, it's got good role-playing synergy with certain builds, so, that's always cool, too. So, yeah, your mileage may vary.